So today I'm going to show you guys how to build the Bard as a speed farming class, which he can actually become pretty quick. So he is a really good speed farming class. First things you want obviously are movement speed on your gear, so 21 speed, 20 speed because it's a C3 fist and not C4, and 21 speed. So that's a lot of speed right there in my crystal gear. Next thing you want is an ally that gives you a movement speed buff when a nearby ally or enemy dies. So you could also use, if you don't have this ally, you could use an ally called the Prefect Penguin, which is basically the exact same ally, just minus the 300 light. So it's I think this ally is actually pretty cheap. Yeah, pretty cheap ally, at least on PC, it's only 19k. So the next thing you want is a U10 permanent torch. So this is the Enshadowed Torch of the Saber Skull, and it gives you 10 movement speed. You can disregard the other stats. We're just focusing on the movement speed here. You want Trailblazing Emblem just for the added speed. You want the Pirate Captain, or not Pirate Captain, you want the Candy Barbarian subclass because damaging enemies has a chance to drop a piece of candy that increases your attack speed and movement speed or healing, which I'm not sure if this has like an internal cooldown or if it's just literally damaging any enemy just at any point can give you a piece of candy. You also want Pyrodisc because Pyrodisc is a really good gem. I believe it gives you like what, 25-30 movement speed when it actually activates. But yeah, killing an enemy has a chance to generate a flaming disc that damages nearby enemies and gives you a movement speed buff. Weirdly enough, the description doesn't actually say that it gives you movement speed, but it does. That probably should be changed in the future. Another important empower gem is the Vampirian Vanquisher because each time you do a critical hit, you have a chance to increase your movement speed, which more movement speed, yay, that's exactly what you want. This is a newer addition for me, but what I use and what is actually really good is the Vial of Unleashed Power. Now, if you don't know what this flask does, is it triggers your flask effects, like it triggers your emblems when you actually use your alt. It has an internal cooldown of like 10 to 15 seconds. I think it's actually 15 seconds, but it's not really a big deal. And you can go ahead and buy this flask for almost 24k, at least on PC. I'm not sure what it's like on console, if anyone's even selling it. But I believe the way that you get this flask is it is from the merchant on the Trove Wonder ship for Fragments of Wonder. At least I think that's where it's from. Just to give you guys a demonstration of the Unleashed Power, if I use my ult right now, as you can see, it gives me my flask effect. So I have a mod that changes my Trailblazing to be rainbow. It's the only mod that I could actually find that changes the VFX / color of the Trailblazing emblem, just so I can actually easily see it. So basically, when you notice that Trailblazing wore off, which it did a few seconds ago, basically you just press 2 again, and as you can see, we have it again. And my base speed is 192. And something that I forgot to mention is there is an ally called the Clownish Kicker. So I guess if you do have this ally, it is a Dev Dream ally. So I believe there's 36 of these allies, so you have to get pretty lucky to get this one. It gives you a movement speed boost when an enemy dies, but it has 5 base movement speed on it. So if you're looking for raw speed, then I assume this ally would be the best. And I am farming in U8 just because that's just where I farm. If you do farm in U10, the only real difference is that you have a higher chance of dying. So if you are used to using this death defying in U10, and if you want to switch to this just for the like comfort, I guess, of just not having to press Q and just pressing 2 every so often, then yeah, just know that you might actually die. But in U8, enemies do like no damage at all, so it's actually pretty easy. So just to give you guys an example, so let's say that we kill a boss. So I'm going to use my ultimate and then use my movement speed ability, kill this guy. And we have 234 movement speed. So almost as fast as Dino Tamer, but I'm just going to do this really quick. And let's see, my movement speed is 276. So that actually is faster than the Dino Tamer. My Dino Tamer, I believe, gets 252 speed, which I assume that's max, because I'm pretty sure I had like everything that I have right now on the Dino Tamer. Also, I'm not sure if the VFX is bugged, because I still see the trailblazing effects, but I'm pretty sure it should have worn off by now. Oh, okay, there it did. So yeah, we just use it, and like we just use the ult, and we pretty much have it back up. So it's really good, because obviously you don't have to press Q constantly, so you just, you don't even need to wait for the effects to go away. You can just, you know, press 2 every so often. But yeah, pretty good and pretty quick. Now, if you do have everything activated, like Pyro Disc and all that, you can get to like 304 if you have pretty much what I have. But I don't really see that often. I see like 260, 270, like pretty much all the time. And yeah, it's pretty much the farming, like pretty much the speed farming method that I do. And it's pretty nice because the Jubilant song doesn't, well, it lasts for 30 seconds, so you don't have to constantly be using it anyway. So right now I just use it again, and as you saw, I got my flask effects back, so you don't have to wait for it to go away. You don't have to wait for trailblazing to go away. You can just use it whenever you think, I don't know, 10 or so seconds has passed, and just keep the buff up that way. And it's, I don't know, it's pretty much minimal thinking, you know, you're just like mindlessly pressing 2 every now and again. And maintaining the movement speed buff. So he does lack the AoE and the range that Dino Tamer has, so in that regard he's not as good. But I'm mainly using him because he's a new class and he's still really good for speed farming. So I just like him a lot. It's a new feel, you know. It's not me constantly using Dino Tamer for like the past, you know, year or two. It's actually now using a new class, and look how fast I am. I just used a flask by accident. And the other thing about this method is it's really good because when you use when you use the ultimate, you don't actually drain a flask charge, so you basically have infinite flasks. So if you don't have a high magic find, and if you don't want to constantly be using an origin potion to refill your flasks, then this one is pretty good because I'm still at 4 flasks. It's, like I said, it's basically infinite. So sorry that this video is just me rambling on and all that. But yeah, just wanted to show you guys how the bard can actually perform and how fast he can actually be. So that's it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, a like would be appreciated, and I am out.